Tonight on A&E, at 8 Eastern, Jimmy Stewart stars as a railroad worker who tries to protect the payroll from an outlaw gang. Night Passage. At 10, Miss Marple answers the call when a murder is announced on Agatha Christie Mysteries. And at 11, Ann Magnuson hosts Rave. All tonight on A&E.
This program is brought to you in part by Alaska Seafood, far and away the world's finest.
Hi, I'm John Byner. Welcome to the Bowery Boys. You know, whenever movie producers or directors are asked what makes a hit, one of the most frequent answers they give is believability. An audience has to identify with the main characters. Now, the Bowery Boys knew this. Take today's film, Jinx Money. In it, Slip and Satch are walking down a street and find $50,000 on the sidewalk. Now, who hasn't been in that situation? We can identify, especially when the boys donate most of the money to charity. Hey, we do the same thing, right? Of course, once we found out the dough originally belonged to gangsters, we'd make sure they knew we had it so we could catch them ourselves. Well, just in case you're one of the few people who has yet to have this experience, here are Slip, Satch, and the rest of the guys to illustrate the proper behavior in such a situation. I think you'll find it highly educational. From 1948, here's Jinx Money. The Bowery Boys will continue in a moment here on A&E. A&E returns to Leo Gorcey and Hunts Hall as the Bowery Boys. The Bowery Boys will continue in a moment here on A&E.
The only things that could come between brothers was the law and $10,000 in cash. Jimmy Stewart, Audie Murphy, Night Passage. Tonight on A&E.
And now it's back to the Bowery Boys here on A&E. Return to the Bowery Boys here on A&E. The Bowery Boys will continue in a moment here on A&E.
It's a deadly serious game of hide and seek that the New York Daily News called the kind of docu-thriller you won't be able to resist. Spies is terrific. A flat-out winner, raves the Chicago Tribune. From industrial espionage to assassination, this is the covert realm of the Shadow Warriors, and their next target could be you. No one who watches the series will ever again feel the nation is secure. Spies Following American Justice, Wednesday on A&E.
Now it's back to the Bowery Boys here on A&E. The Bowery Boys will continue in a moment here on A&E.
A murder is announced.
A murder?
People don't announce murders.
And all the neighbors show up for the floor show.
He came here to kill her.
Everyone looks suspicious.
I think he's a nincompoop.
But is it?
Silly hoax. That's the fishy bit.
Can Miss Marple figure out who done it?
I understand everything.
Before the witnesses become victims? A Miss Marple thriller on Agatha Christie Mysteries. Tonight on A&E.
We now return to the Bowery Boys here on A&E. The Bowery Boys will continue in a moment here on A&E.
The only things that could come between brothers was the law and $10,000 in cash. Jimmy Stewart, Audie Murphy, Night Passage. Tonight on A&E.
We now return to the Bowery Boys here on A&E. Well, once again, everything turned out great for the gang. But In real life, they weren't always that lucky, especially Leo Gorcey. At one point, Leo had gotten 25 traffic tickets in 2 years. And when he was brought into court, it took 8 minutes to read the list of his violations. Afterwards, the judge turned to Leo and said, "Son, what do you have to say for yourself?" And Leo answered, "Judge, that report is longer than most novels I've read." Well, after everyone laughed, the judge said, "You know, you've got a wonderful sense of humor, and upstairs we've got a group of prisoners who just love to be entertained. So I'm going to give you the privilege of spending 5 days telling them jokes." Well, this wasn't the first time Leo had run up against the law, but it wouldn't be the last. More about that another time. For the Bowery Boys, I'm John Byner. See you next week.
Now you can own this special collection, The Best of the Bowery Boys, for only $99.95 plus $7.95 shipping and handling. Call now, 1-800-423-1212.
Lovejoy's the name.
Sleuthing's the game.
He's the prince of scams, the sultan of sting, trying not to get stung. Lovejoy, Monday on A&E.
The perfect cover, a perfect spy, an author-turned-secret agent.
I believe in good and evil.
Ashington, Saturday on A&E. A murder is announced,
A murder?
and all the neighbors show up for the floor show. What is it?
Silly hoax. That's the fishy bit.
Can Miss Marple figure out who done it before the witnesses become victims? A Miss Marple thriller on Agatha Christie Mysteries. Tonight on A&E.
Ship owner, financier, tycoon. From his early entrepreneurial days to his famed marriage to Jacqueline Kennedy, this self-made man is remembered as one of history's most driven figures in the world of society and international finance. The Extraordinary Life of Aristotle Onassis. Tuesday on Biography.
It launched the careers of Josephine Baker and Maurice Chevalier, and almost overnight turned the act of undressing into a major art form. The January issue of the Arts and Entertainment magazine takes a look at the titillating history of the Folie Bergère. To receive your 12 monthly issues of Arts and Entertainment magazine for only $18 a year, $23 in Canada, call 1-800-238-2800.
This is the brain activity of a normal 14-year-old. This is the brain activity of a 14-year-old after smoking marijuana. If you use pot, you're not using your brain.